run up, count the step or not count the step. For me, it's important that the gymnasts have a stable run up, and where they are young, it's important to give them some focus point, and counting the steps is a good way. So they can know how to start their run up, which one legs or the other, count the steps, and the last step that arrive before they take off to the springboard. So it's important so they can have a stable run up, and if they move in other gym for competition, they can easily find the right run up, also with the help of the coaches. So if a coach teach to the gymnast to count the step and himself count the step and know every gymnast how many steps do in the run up, can be useful to find the good focus point in different situations. You know, especially when the gymnasts are very young, maybe change the gym and they have some problem with the run up, they arrive too much under the springboard or too far from the springboard. And so if a coach know the right number of the steps, you can easily help the gymnast to find their comfort situation also in different contests. Okay? So yes, for me it's important. And normally if you analyze some saltos also from World Championship or something like that, the number of steps are between 11 and 13. So for me it's a good point to start with the young gymnasts with 12, 11, 13 steps. Maybe when they grow up, they can move a little bit backward and modify and adjust the run up without change the number of the steps for the run up. Okay, so we left each other in the previous session with the first phase, and we spoke about somersault over the table, on the table, and Rosanna suggests me that another good point to make you understand what I mean with create a fast rotation in the first phase, it's also to add the support of the hand with the handspring, but with a focus on the support. So it's important, if we want to have a fast rotation, that the support of the hand is in the first part of the table. So for example, could be useful to maybe cover one part of the table and ask to the gymnast to reach the handstand before the object we set on the table. Somersault, and then we can start to use the hand and concentrate on the support phase. Guys, just handspring. Okay, it's quite good. Not so much speed on the heels. He bent a little bit too much the body. Okay, was not so much rotation. He did very fast the approach on the table, but the body was too low. Okay, you should try to reach the handstand. Okay, you are like this. Okay, too much angle, you know, the body was a little bit lower, the shoulder close. Okay, in the first approach, we would like to reach handstand and alignment on the table. Too much against the table. But this is why it was too much against the table. You can find the original mistake. Okay, for me, because it was too forward on the springboard. So he needs to improve the last steps and kick the legs a little bit faster on the springboard, so it can be in more backward position on the springboard. Okay? A little bit same problem, to bending on the hips, so the heels remain a little bit lower, but the changing of the shape on the springboard was good, and he had rotation. Okay, a little bit better, a little bit better. Okay, so on the table from the point of view of physical preparation, it's important to train stiffness for shoulder and arms, okay, because we do a lot of plyometric exercise on the legs, rebound, everything we do on floor, on vault, but sometimes we forget to work a little bit on the upper body. So some simple exercise. Come on, guys. Just some small rebound, spinge. Okay, rimbalzo. Okay, okay. It's important to make sure that the elbows are straight without bending elbow. And this is the very first exercise to work a little bit on the stiffness for the arms. Also on trampoline is very good, and the gymnast can improve also balance on the handstand, and a lot of other exercises, like for example, step by step. Okay, just this kind of exercise you can do. Okay. Push as much as possible. Okay. We can increase the difficulty with an higher mats, or we can also work on eccentric situation. For example, we can do from the mat to down. Parti da qua, fai verticale spinta, arrivi lì. Cioè mani sopra e rimbalzi sotto e continui a spingere. Okay? Like this, for example. And this is how we need to work for a good supper phase. Then if we have a good first phase with such rotation, we can work on handspring and then salto, tuck, pike, or something like that, or Kasamatsu. And now we focus on Kasamatsu. For Kasamatsu, we have an asymmetric support of the hands, one in front of the others, and we have to say to the gymnast that it's not important from the springboard to search an early quarter turn, because if we have good rotation on the first phase, just thinking about one end here and the other one in the same line, the body of the gymnast will reach this quarter of turn on the table. So this is how we need, because from the springboard, if we ask to the gymnast to go into the cartwheel, we lose the rotation. From the springboard, we have to generate rotation, modifying the shape. If we have rotation, one hand here, the other one in the same line, and the body will have a quarter turn. This is the first thing. And of course, we have to reach on the vault situation, but also, for example, in the preparation exercise. Facciamo rimbalzo, rimbalzo, rimbalzo e quarto di giro. Cioè la verticale la fai col quarto di giro. Okay, so, okay. For the exercise we made before, we are still working on stiffness for the legs, middle body, body control, and first phase rotation with asymmetric support. Okay, quite good. You don't have to think to do like this, just handstand with one hand and the other one here. Go. Okay. He had a very poor rotation in the first phase, and the body remained in a front situation. If they have rotation with asymmetric support, the body will turn. Okay, Okay, quite good. More rotation. Okay, stop. And same exercise we can ask with the run-up on the table. But, so we can move a little bit on and then we will see this exercise there, so we don't move from the two situations. And another important is to work on the second phase, so the release from the table to the air. The first thing we have to do is just to push with the second hand and rise up very quick the shoulder from down to up without insert the second quarter half. So very basic exercise, cartwheel and cartwheel hopping from the hand to raise up the position. Two. Cartwheel and then cartwheel with hop. Okay. Okay, good. This was a next exercise. Very good. So the first thing is just to push a little bit on the arms. Then we have to explain to the gymnast that the second part of the cartwheel needs to be with leg together and with the shoulder that rise up very quickly. Okay. Okay, it was like a round off, not a cartwheel. Ok. La seconda la fai con le gambe unite. Allunga bene la ruota. Okay, so this is the first exercise. And just also from here, we have to have a look to the second phase. And from the support, we have to see that the shoulder go up very quickly. Okay, so we don't have this kind of situation, not this kind, so not so much side bending on the middle body, but push with the second arm and rise up. Okay, it was very poor in the second part, but was quite okay. Leo, vieni un attimo. And it's important, vai in verticale laterale, that the second arm, tu fai la ruota così, giusto? Ok. Push very strong, the head is in contact with the shoulder, and from this situation, this arm go very quick down, and the second arms need to push very strong, and don't do like this or also like this, just sideways. Okay, so stai, ce la fai? First, second, here. Okay? Okay, quite good. Better. Use the line, okay? Pay attention to direction, line, everything in the same line. Quite good. Okay, sometimes we can make some more difficult situation. For example, asking to the gymnast to arrive on a higher mat, but sometimes it's important also to propose to the gymnast some exercise in an easier situation. For example, we can do the same exercise but with some lower level. Okay? It's quite good, but he needs more speed in the second phase. Okay? Quite good. And the good situation is that the gymnast can arrive like here in handstand position, not here. So the second part of the parabol should be very short and high. Okay? No? It was with both the hand very high in the second phase, and we saw that we have Okay, okay. For me, I prefer not like here, but the first hand go down very up and the second help to rise up the shoulder. And, okay, go. Another point that, yeah. Okay, was a little bit.
Matter in rondas with the hands. You start with the hands up or with the hands from down? Because in the
From here, from the hurdle, it's okay, no problem. Yeah, but it's a total different situation. You know, now we are focusing on the second part of the car wheel, so from the supper to rise up the shoulder. It's correct what you said. So because of on vault, we work like this. In the hurdle, not do like this. But for me, it's not important in this kind of exercise because for the same reason, on vault, we work with leg together and not with hurdle. So, okay. But I just want to focus on the second part of the car wheel because the first part we saw before is totally different from this situation. Now it's important that the gymnast understand how to go out from the car wheel so that the first arm go down and the second push and rise up the shoulder without bending. And another critical point is when we ask to the gymnast to add a quarter turn after releasing the table, okay? Because they change totally the work of the shoulder and of the support phase. So the next step, we go a little bit quicker, is to arrive side position, go down with quarter turn. Capito? Okay. But you saw, just with this a little bit improvement of exercise at a quarter turn, the result of the takeoff from the table, the mats, in the second part was not so good as the before attempt. Okay, but they need more rotation because they always arrive like this, jump, and go backward. Quite good. There is no rotation, no pushing, not so good. You have to reach some more rotation in the second part. Quite good. And we have to find the good balancing between the pushing of the second arms that permit to have a high parabol and the rotation. Okay, quite good, quite good. Okay, we can move 4 different exercises. Okay, the same we try there, but with the table. So, first exercise is just sideways. So, first part of car wheel and lay down. So, ruota e cado di lato. The second one is car wheel and arrive sideways. The third one is sideways and then quarter and half. And the fourth is directly with the quarter turn. Okay? Maybe 2 attempts and you go. So we will see the same exercise we tried there, but on the table. Okay? So the first one, just to understand the support phase. So 1 and in line with the second one. And in this moment, it's quite important to have this kind of point of view. And we find the same errors of before. If you remember, he had some problem to reach the handstand with a good rotation, and now he have the same problem. So, to increase the speed, he pass totally away from the handstand. So, we have the first phase with the handspring, and then just ask to the asymmetry of the support phase. Go. Okay, quite good. Okay, not so bad. So next exercise is the second phase, so rising up of the shoulder, okay, and quarter turn and lay down is quite good. Okay, a little bit better, but when he reached the mats with his foot, he was like this. So if he add a quarter turn, he will be like this. And if he is like this in the second phase, he has no rotation to enter in the salto. So it's important to arrive like here and like here. Okay, quite good, but it's too slow. We need more rotation speed. Good, good. A little bit too open here, but it was okay. Not so bad. Good. Now I will ask to the gymnast to introduce the second quarter twist in the second phase. This is a quite good execution, but a typical mistake is that when the gymnast, vieni qua, introduce the quarter twist, when they introduce the quarter twist, they do like this, they lose, ti tengo, guarda i piedi. They lose the rotation and stop the feet in the air. Okay, it's like this. So we need finish rotation and then do the quarter twist. Okay, quite good. You pass a little bit away from the handstand because you have to be a little bit in this position on the springboard and create more rotation in the first part. Okay, directly with quarter. Okay, so not sideways, but finish. Okay, but it was too much against the table, and it come back when release the table with the hands. Okay, he go backward after releasing the table. He can he try to compensate some technical mistakes with a lot of powerful, and this could be a strategy, but if he can optimize the technique and the basis, he could be a very good gymnast on vault. Okay, but he missed totally the quarter turn. He arrived sideways. You should arrive directly here, okay? Okay, so we can have also different situation. We can increase the height of the mats. And for example, we can add another skill for the preparation, because if we finish cartwheel with quarter turn and we are in front, the next and the second flight for Kasamatsu, it's a salto forward with half, 1, 2, 2.5 twist or something like that, okay? It's important that these phases is very solid on the gymnast, because they have to understand that the twisting in the second part of Kasamatsu is a forward salto, not backward. So the gymnast have to understand very well that the car will finish here and then there is a salto forward. And in my opinion, the best strategy is to think about salto pike. Okay, but salto pike, it means that we rise up with the shoulder in the air and then the shoulder go down to enter the salto. Okay, because otherwise we stop the feet in the air, we try to pike, but we don't have enough rotation for the salto. A next step could be cartwheel with quarter turn and then jump in salto pike. Okay, was So less rotation in the second phase respect of the previous attempts. Okay, but should be the execution should be like cartwheel with quarter turn, jump, and enter in the salto. So 2 different phases. Go. Okay, quite good. You still miss a little bit of rotation in the quarter turn. Okay, some problem on the first phase for him. It was too much against. So next step again, without touching the mats with the feet. So directly cartwheel and salto forward. Okay, was quite good, but he still missed a little bit of quarter turn. It was like this. So we have to arrive in this position. Okay, so next step exercise with Leo, and then I show you some second phases exercise, very simple. Okay, so directly. And when the difficulty of the exercise is increased, the gymnast lose a little bit of good technique because the preparation before from Leo was much better than this execution. It's normal because maybe they are scared, so it's important to go step by step. So if the step is too big in this moment, just go back or make this exercise a little bit easier, maybe decreasing the height of the mats. And for the second phase, what we have to teach to the gymnast is salto pike with twist. Half, one, one and a half, two, and then put everything together first in a safe situation. But you know that when when a gymnast is in the air, the parabol is defined and it's impossible to change it. So we have to concentrate on these phases. So in the releasing from the table, support, and take off from support to the air. It's very important because after we can modify anything. In the air, we can just enter quicker on the twist or in the salto, closing the body shape, try to arrive in a safe situation or something like that. But this first part of the vault are the most important things we have to concentrate to build a very good and safe salto. Because, you know, the important thing is that vault is one of the most traumatic exercise in gymnastics. So it's very important to have a step-by-step approach and have always some safe situation for the coaches, but for the gymnasts. And we have to ask to the gymnasts if they are okay for the next step or they prefer to stay a little bit. Okay, without hurry. Pike with half turn. Okay. And in this way, also on trampoline or where we want, we can build the second phase, the second flight, and the landing. Okay, go a little bit down. Okay, go. Go. 1,5. Carpio, 1,5. And for double twisting, salto pike with 1.5. Okay, 1.5, it's okay for you? Pike, pike 1.5. Carpe. Good, okay. With control of the landing and everything. Okay, quite good. In this way, we can build the second flight of the vault. And another good exercise is on trampoline. Also on trampoline, we can work on double pike with twist to recreate the two rotation of the vault. The first one is the cartwheel one, and the second one is in the air. And so on vault, we can do double pike with half twist, 1.5, and also not on the pit, but maybe if we have a trampoline also with a hard landing, we can prepare the gymnasts for the hard landing they will have in competition setting on vaults. So I think it's enough for today. We will find some 20 minutes extra maybe in the next days to speak a little bit about Yurchenko and about the landing. And for the moment, thank you so much for your attention and have a good lunch.